all know a guy who only occasionally shaves for big occasions, and it's because that occasional shave really hurts. It's the time of year for big occasions, and yet there he is, suffering with that cheap drugstore razor. Let's help him out. Henson Shaving's line of razors, built with aerospace precision, deliver a smooth shave your dad, brother, and even son can enjoy, eventually. With replacement blades just 10 cents each, you'll buy it once and they'll use it for life. How's that for the perfect gift? Celebrate with 100 free blades on your first purchase, and no subscription headaches. HensonShaving.com/holiday.
Don't forget that your skin is your largest organ, and the sun can be your skin's worst enemy. Dermatologist recommended Neutrogena products offer the ultimate protection for your skin. From makeup remover wipes to Hydro Boost Water Gel Facial Moisturizer, BJ's has your entire lineup of Neutrogena skincare products. And now through December 3rd, save $4 on any Neutrogena product at BJ's. Love your skin back and save now through December 3rd, only at BJ's.
Welcome to the No Fruit Podcast,
where we talk about our life experiences with a spiritual twist. Hosted by Maurice
and Kafa. We hope you enjoy today's episode.
We really do hope you enjoyed this episode today.
Please.
This is Reese.
And this is Kafa.
Hey, y'all. We are getting close to the end of the Lenten season.
And Maurice is happy to be able to have a Pepsi pretty soon.
Yo, I'm telling you, I am. My body must know it's coming to an end really soon. Because my body is like, yo, can we get one, please? I
think you should wait till your birthday.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I think that's the commitment piece. You know, should that be the culmination? Now, for those of you who don't know, my birthday is April the 12th. So it's only another week.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I mean?
And then you could just go another week and just not even bother with the Pepsi anymore. What y'all think?
I don't think they want you.
Pepsi's overrated.
I don't think our listeners wants me to suffer that badly.
It wouldn't be suffering.
It would be suffering.
I don't think so.
It would be in the wilderness. I would be in the wilderness. I would be. I don't want to know what to do without the Pepsi. Like right now, I don't know what to do without Pepsi.
I guess we do have, a 6-pack back there that you have?
Yeah, we do. We have stuff that I haven't touched, and during this Lenten season, I have not touched it. It's been sitting right there. It's exactly 7. So my thought is like, hey, why don't I just, make it an even 6 and, but no, I got isn't it called a baker's dozen?
7? No, baker's dozen is 13.
Oh, okay.
Dozen.
All right. Yeah, something like that. Whatever. Yeah.
I mean, you have 7 Pepsis. You could have one for a week. I mean, one a day to make it a week. And then we just don't buy no more.
I mean, well, that's one of the things that I've been struggling with is not doing that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what it is.
Were you always a Pepsi drinker? Like, what? I don't remember you, drinking Pepsi when we started dating.
I know I was.
Okay.
I was.
You weren't like this.
No, I wasn't like this. I think it's just life. So I know some people find ways to, in all reality, they have an addiction to certain things, and just mine just happened to be Pepsi. That's all. Well, that's not all. That's not a good thing. But as many things that I could be addicted to, I don't think that's as terrible as some other things that, people, struggle with.
But a sin is a sin is a sin. So
oh my gosh,
if it's an addiction, you said it's an addiction.
Well, okay, I used the incorrect word.
Okay.
No, but in honesty, it might be an addiction. I don't know. I really have to pray on that. We've been fasting. For those of you who know that we were fasting leading up to the summit that I had earlier in the month.
Oh, we started way before then. We started with the Lent, Ash Wednesday.
Right. No, I'm sorry. We had the fast during Lent, and then we added an additional fast on top of that. So that lets you know how committed we were with, just communing with God, and how serious we are about what we're praying, for Him with,
mm-hmm.
Just just, hey, we are willing to sacrifice on top of sacrifice, because he's done that for us.
Right.
And you can't ask for anything less. You get what I mean? You got to be committed. And I think that's some of the things that I've been able to deal with and struggle with and wrestle with, was being committed to things and being seeing things through and whatnot. So yeah, that's just where things are.
Yeah.
And so, but because of my thirst of Pepsi, and I know a lot of you probably be laughing at me on the back end about my affinity to Pepsi. But in that, we were talking about, when does Lent end?
I think it's very clear, like, when Lent starts. Like, the newscasters, they talk about Fat Tuesday, and then it's Ash Wednesday, and we all have to go, into this Lenten season. So that's all there, and it's quite relevant, and it's right in your face, whether you're a believer or not, whether you're Catholic and practicing and giving up something for Lenten season, if you're Christian, whatever it is, like, that is widely known. Like, I watch the news and they share, like, hey, Lenten, and so it's they even go to different places and show people getting the ashes on their forehead on Wednesday. So then you're like, oh, dang, I'm supposed to stop doing something.
Right.
They publicize about Fat Tuesday. And of course, depending on where you are, we have Mardi Gras and all that other stuff that goes on that kind of helps you to remember that this is coming, that, it's time to focus. But as you said, Marie's like, I know we've been under different ministries. And for each one, I think the end of Lent kind of was something different for each one. Mm-hmm. And I can remember under one minister, I don't know if it was Bible study. I think it was Bible study, midweek Bible study. We were talking a little bit about it, and, that ministry had one belief, and we were kind of like, well, that's not what we were raised in, understanding. So it's just kind of interesting how, it's just differences in this and how everyone looks at it differently. Like, some folks will say, hey, I can eat meat, but I can't eat meat on Fridays. Mm-hmm. I have to have fish or a vegetarian meal on Fridays. Some people fast from something from Lent, from Ash Wednesday up until Easter, Resurrection Sunday. Mm-hmm. And I think that's where some of the debate was like, well, that's not the right thing. Like, you're going a little above and beyond. And some people say up to that Saturday. Some people say it's a Good Friday. Some people say it's a Maundy Thursday, because that's when the Last Supper was. So it's just a little bit confusing. So we just want to know what you're thinking.
I mean, I know. Just after doing some more research and things like that, there are a lot of people who believe that Lent is all the way to Good Friday or Easter, but because if you go from Ash Wednesday to Easter, it's actually 46 days.
46 days.
So what most people in that believe that you should go all the way to Easter, they say, hey, Sundays technically is the day of rest. Mm-hmm. So you can rest from labor to some degree, and not do that. Then there are some people who say, hey, well, if you're going to do that, then that means you have to go all the way to Easter, because if you do like Good Friday or Maundy Thursday, something like that, then you're short a couple days. Mm-hmm. So it all depends on what you believe, where you believe it, what part of the country, the world, yeah. Are you Catholic? Are you Methodist? Are you Episcopalian? Like, it all depends really on what you've been taught.
And I think it's beyond that. I think, again, when you make that sacrifice and you talk to the Lord about, hey, Lord, I'm going to make this sacrifice. I'm going to stop using social media for 40 days, just the way that you walked for 40 days. That's a connection with you and God. Like, I know that we have our pastors and we have our overseers and, our priests that guide us through that. But again, I think that commitment on how you do those 40 days during that period is up to, you and God. Like, again, it's just like what you decide to not divulge in, not give into, that's up between you and God as well. So if you're going to say, hey, I'm not going to eat meat, or if I'm not going to eat sweets, or if I'm not going to, do social media, or watch television, I'm going to give up TV for 40 days. Like, that's between you and God. And,
right.
It's good to have an accountability partner at times,
right.
To kind of say, hey, we're in this, I'm supporting you, so that you don't give in, that you kind of, do stick it out. But again, the overall is between you and God, because what we're supposed to be doing when we are fasting, so that time that we would spend watching TV, we should be in the presence of God. We should be seeking him and seeking understanding and letting him know that, hey, look, I know we'll be watching TV, but I'm here with you. So talk to me, be with me. The times that we would normally eat, then it's like, Lord, I'm empty, because I normally would be filled up with my flesh of wanting food. And now I'm not. So I'm now in front of you, Lord, fill me up with whatever you need to fill me up with, your Holy Spirit, better understanding, guidance, whatever it might be. Like, you'll pray for that. And it's just a time for prayer. And something else, when you said, we're looking at this, so I did do a little research as well. And with the Lenten season, what we should be doing, again, is prayer first, fasting, and then giving back. Like, it's also a time to give back. So understanding that the Lord is going to bless you, and you're going to overflow, and you're going to have something. So, what are you normally doing? And now you have time, because you're not spending hours watching TV, and you're not spending hours on social media and eating. So during that time, can you give back? Can you go and feed someone who doesn't have? Because you normally would have made a meal. So you take your meal to somebody who doesn't have a meal. You normally would be sitting in the television. So do you go have that time with somebody else, or give up something of yours to someone else? So I don't know that everybody does all of those steps.
So you're saying I should give up my Pepsi?
Maybe you should donate your Pepsi. It's been sitting there for like a long time.
It has. It be calling my name.
It does.
Every time I walk by it, Maurice.
It sounds Maurice. Like that. That's what Pepsi sounds like.
Maurice. Yes. Maurice. But I agree that we should donate.
Yeah.
I mean, even though we should be donating our time and energy anyway, that is a part of our tithe.
Right.
So we should be doing that anyway. The question is, are we doing it to the fullest degree? Mm-hmm. And are we really doing it with our whole heart, our whole, being, and genuinely? Right. How genuine are we really in this process?
How cheerful, as the preachers would say, the Lord loves a cheerful giver.
And I know I'm not going to be cheerful giving up my Pepsi.
Then that means it doesn't mean anything, and
right.
It's not going to be done for the glory of God. So
and understand, y'all, that I'm joking around with this, but in all reality, how many of us really struggle with giving up something that we feel like we really like, love, adore, whatever, thing that you want to put out there. But we put maybe too much emphasis on it, and we lose track of what the situation really is.
And I think that's what Lent allows us to do. As we're giving things up, it allows us to look in the mirror and see, like, hey, like, does Pepsi really, do I like it, and enjoy it just because? Or is it something, as Maurice said, that he's really addicted to, that he, it has a little bit more of a hold on him than it should.
And so let's even be more clear with that. I'm not addicted to Pepsi. If I was addicted to it, I think I would have used every excuse in a book. Right now, from those that I know that have real addictions to things, you know, for it to be sitting there and been sitting there all this time, let's call it for what it is. It's just something that I do to pass the time. I prefer to drink that sometimes than water. I know it's not the healthiest thing. And whatever my body feel like is craving or missing from the caffeinated beverage. Let's be honest. Let's call it what it is. You know, and so again, that's not a healthy situation. Either way, addiction or not, right? But
and so again, it's not an addiction because, like,
right.
for what the terminology means and the definition of addiction, it's not that, but it
Right.
certainly is a guilty pleasure,
right.
if you will. Something that you enjoy, but that's not necessarily good for you.
Correct.
So there's some guilt in it while you're enjoying it.
And so how many of us are dealing with that on a daily basis?
Mm-hmm.
In all reality, you know, that even with that, during this Lenten season, did you really give up something that you may have been struggling with, you know? And if you're able to endure whatever you consider the Lenten season to be, 40 days, 46 days, 50 days, 38 days, whatever it is, have you been able to give it up and do without it? That means can you go further?
Right.
As Kafa's saying, Maurice, add on another 10 days or so until your birthday. Can I do that? We'll see. We'll try it. I mean, it's been sitting there, and it's not going to bother me for it to continue to sit there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many other things do I have just sitting around, just sitting there, just chilling? You know, and that's the way I feel about it. You know, now maybe I might turn around and look at the expiration date and see Best Buy.
It doesn't go bad that fast. It's not that fast. We haven't had the Pepsi on the shelf that long.
I know.
Because you drink them too fast. So
why you put my business out there?
So it's not as if that, you know, they've been here for 6 months or so. A
yes,
year.
you're right. You're right. You're correct, Mundo.
Thank you.
But we shall see how long they last after my birthday.
After your birthday, I
Yes.
guess. Because I can see you on your birthday maybe having 2. But I think it's going to feel different. So
I think it will too.
Yeah, I think that's the issue. Like, you know, for me, I know last year when I gave up some things for Lent, when I went back to those things gradually, but it was kind of a change in my system. And, but eventually I got back in full swing.
Well, I will say this, you know, with us doing our fast on top of a fast, during that time, for those of you who have not listened to our previous shows, we were doing a fast where we were fasting literally all day until dinner time, right? And
for 12 days straight.
For 12 days straight. And
no breaks. Not even a weekend.
No, not at all. So
we could do liquids.
Yes, we could do liquids.
Water and tea.
But otherwise, that was about it.
And juice.
So here's what I learned, that a lot of times I'm eating during the day because of have nothing else to do with my life. No, that's not true. You know, but I've learned a lot about my eating habits. I learned that once I started taking certain foods back in, i.e. bread, my body blew up. Mm-hmm. You know, so there are certain things that you start to realize, hey, maybe this really isn't the best for me.
Right.
So, and maybe it's not best for me in this form or whatever a situation might be. You know, and for those of you who also knows, I do suffer from gout. And sometimes they say that the whole caffeine thing helps out your, gout and all that type of stuff.
Don't believe the hype.
Yeah, right. And I was using that as my, hey, I'm drinking a Pepsi a day, type thing. So I think that's why my body was going through what it felt like a withdrawal. That's why I liken it to an addiction. But there were days where I did not drink it. There were days like right now. I've been doing this since Lent. So I've learned, my body is learning a different life, a different lifestyle. And what is that true commitment to God and this walk that we're on? I will say that during this season, we have truly been tried, and on multiple levels. And even today, getting messages or whatever today, that's just like, yo, are you serious? Some things just won't seem like they won't go away. That's the way it feels. You get what I mean? And you're like, all right, so what do I need to do? God, what more do I need to give up? How else do I need to change my life? So I wonder how many of you are out there experiencing some of the same things. Like, God, I know that some, this enemy, whatever it is keeps attacking me, keep coming and attacking my mind and my heart or whatever it might be. But what more do you need to do to get over that hump? And so during this Lenten season, if you're supposed to be praying more, understanding where God is really trying to take you. So does that mean that you need to commune with him more, talk with him more, whatever the situation is, what is the next step, and even though we're talking about time of Lent or length of time of Lent, 38, 40, 42, 48, whatever it might be.
If you call them football plays.
Right. Even to I forgot where I was going, Kyle. Whether it's the days or we're talking about what you actually had given up, ultimately, what are you supposed to be giving out? Being praise, whether it's worship, whether it's dedicating your time, your energy, what is that you need to be, pouring out? Not just taking in and giving up things, but what are you supposed to be pouring out? And then in that, when you praying for God, fill me back up with your Holy Spirit, are you still pouring yourself out and emptying yourself out all the way and not continue to hold on to whatever the situation is? So again, even though we joke about the Pepsi, I don't feel like it's going to be a problem with me holding off to my birthday. It may be because it's there. I don't know. I can't foretell the future. I don't go back there enough to really see it back there on the shelf that we're talking about. To be honest, sometimes it's out of sight, out of mind because I haven't had it in a while.
Right.
But then there are days where, again, example, we sit down and watch a movie. I want some popcorn and a soda. You get what I mean? Like this just seems naturally like they just go together. Right. Otherwise, I'm not even thinking about it. So am I going to be in that situation where it's like, hey, we sit down and watch a movie, maybe I'll have a beverage and call it a day? Because and here's the other thing too. What I realized, the more or I should say, the less I consume of it, time wise, even when I did go back to it at one time, and Coffee, you could attest to this, I was only drinking half a bottle. I wasn't even drinking a whole bottle. It's like I only could take it in splurts. So it wasn't even like, even though, Coffee, you're joking like, hey, on my birthday, I'm probably going to drink 2 bottles. I can't even see me doing that, to be honest. So in this life change, in this this moment of Lent, even if I tried to go back to that, and hopefully this could be a testimony for y'all too, even if you try to go back to whatever the situation is, as Coffee mentioned, your taste for it will change. Ultimately meaning that, hey, God, you've delivered me from this situation.
Amen.
So I'm sorry I took up a whole lot of time, man.
That's all right. You preaching. We allow you to have that,
So I just want y'all to be encouraged.
Yes.
Today of, hey, in this change, in this Lenten season, God, you're dealing with me. And so I'm putting my own stuff out there saying, hey, God's been dealing with me personally.
Right.
Hopefully he's dealing with you in whatever manner he needs to deal with you in, and that you can be delivered from the situation. Like I said, we've been attacked on multiple levels and multiple situations. And to be honest, though, in the same time frame, God has blessed us,
right?
In a lot of different ways.
Yes.
So,
and he deserves all the glory. You know what I mean?
Right.
Through it all. So, I mean, I'm anxious not anxious, but I'm excited to hear from you all that are listening to us. Do you participate in Lent? Do you give up anything? I mean, I understand just from doing some research that a lot of people, even the Catholics, are not practicing in the Lenten season of giving anything up and praying and giving back. So there was a large percentage, I want to say it was like in the 70s or 80s, that do. And then when it comes to Protestants, it was much, much lower, like in the 50s or the 60s. So like half of us as Christians follow this Lenten season and giving up something, as we have said before in discussions, that we don't remember really having a lot of lessons behind Lent or it really being pushed or educating us about the Lenten season and what it means and all those things. I think every now and then it might have been a new campaign that came out and everybody was like, hey, we should do this. But it wasn't necessarily practiced as a true ritual of the church.
Right.
So then someone else was saying, well, is it biblical? Yes, Jesus went away for 40 days and 40 nights, and we kind of attach that with Lent. But there's nowhere, I think, in the Bible that says that we should do it as Christians. So if you find anything, let us know. I haven't found anything. I don't know if it's just, again, a doctrinal thing that we follow within our own separate institutions of faith. But let us know what you think. Like, are you practicing it? Did you hear about it when you were younger and growing up as a Christian or a Catholic or whatever? I know that Jews practice some things differently, and whether or not they go into a fast and all that, I'm not knowledgeable of. But yeah, I'm interested in knowing from our audience what their thoughts and their beliefs and are within their own churches or own places of worship.
Right.
Yeah, I'm interested in knowing that.
So just like Hafa said, we really would like to know what y'all think.
Yeah.
And what's going on.
Inquiring minds want to know.
And be sure to let us know your denomination also, because we would love to know the differences with that too.
Yeah.
Because I even believe that from a denominational perspective, because so many churches are independent within their denomination, I'm just wondering how each one of them maneuvers through this season of Lent. So, just hit us up and let us know.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, y'all. Hey, Kafa, what do we want them to do?
Maurice, we want everyone to stay fit with Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Follow, share, comment, and subscribe to the No Fruit Podcast.
Continue to listen to us on your favorite podcast channels.
And look for new episodes every Thursday.
We thank y'all very much for listening to us.
May God bless you all.
Peace.
We all know a guy who only occasionally shaves for big occasions, and it's because that occasional shave really hurts. It's the time of year for big occasions, and yet there he is, suffering with that cheap drugstore razor. Let's help him out. Henson Shaving's line of razors, built with aerospace precision, deliver a smooth shave your dad, brother, and even son can enjoy, eventually. With replacement blades just 10 cents each, you'll buy it once, and they'll use it for life. How's that for the perfect gift? Celebrate with 100 free blades on your first purchase, and no subscription headaches. HensonShaving.com/holiday.
Don't forget that your skin is your largest organ, and the sun can be your skin's worst enemy. Dermatologist-recommended Neutrogena products offer the ultimate protection for your skin. From makeup remover wipes to Hydro Boost Water Gel Facial Moisturizer, BJ's has your entire lineup of Neutrogena skincare products. And now through December 3rd, save $4 on any Neutrogena product at BJ's. Love your skin back and save now through December 3rd, only at BJ's.